All right, so we're back with the midweek lessons. I've missed doing these. I had to pause them for a while so that I could get the Essential Theory course, which is live, by the way. So you can check that out at activemelody.com. If you're interested in music theory and trying to understand the background behind all this stuff we're doing, it's a great course for that. But in this lesson, we're going to be talking about color tones and things you can add to your chords to make them sound better. That's really what this is. So if you've ever been like stuck with just strumming chords like this, and you don't really know what to do, but you see other guitar players kind of doing these little fills and things to make it sound better, that's what this lesson's all about. So that's what these color tones are going to be. So we're going to take a very basic progression. Let me play it here. It's got 4 chords. The first is a G, then it's got a C, A minor, and then it goes to a D chord. And those are the 4 chords: G, C, A minor, D. And I'm sure you already know how to play them down here, but what can you do to make them sound better? What can you add to them? So we're going to be adding the notes of the major scale to those chords. And this is a lot easier than it sounds, so you're just going to have to follow me. Now what if I were to take that same progression but make it sound like this instead? It sounds a lot better. And I was still playing the same chords, but I was adding all this extra stuff, and that's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to break each of these chords down. Actually, really, it's just the G, C, and D chord. So we're going to start off by looking at the G chord and the embellishments we can play around that, the color tones around that. So the first thing I want you to do is put your ring finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And we're going to take our other fingers, the free ones, not 3, but free fingers, and we're going to play the major scale while we hold that ring finger down. So it's going to look like this. Okay, so look at that. Notice I kept my ring finger down the whole time. And what I'm doing is I'm playing the 3rd string open, and then we're down to the 4th string here, and I'm going to play 4th fret, 2nd fret. That's pinky and index finger. And then open 4th fret. The middle goes down on the 3rd fret, 5th string, and then we come down to the 2nd fret, open, and 3rd fret, 6th string. Now that's just the G major scale, but if I play those chord tones while I'm holding down one of the notes from the G chord here, like this D note, you get this sound. Each one of these has its own sound. Like even if I just played this, that gives you a certain kind of color, a certain kind of mood. So anyway, that's all I was doing for the G chord, is I was just walking down the major scale. So I started with the open G. And by the way, the strum pattern is down, 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 up, down with the right hand. So it's the open G string, down, and then you're going to play strings 4, 3, and 2. You're just going to strum that little triad there. So it's down, 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 up, down. And we're going to do that same strum pattern through the whole thing. Then add our pinky. Now notice I went down to the 4th string now, but we're still going to play down, down, up, down. So we have, just walk it right down. Play your G chord because your finger's already in position. Isn't that cool? I mean, even if you learn nothing else, that's pretty cool with what you can do over a G chord. Now let's take the same concept and apply it to 2 other chords. Let's look at the C chord, and we're going to look at the C major scale, first position, and how you can play that while keeping one note down. This time we're going to keep the C note down, which is going to be the 1st fret, 2nd string. And we're going to play it like this. We're going to start just playing the top 3 strings, same strum pattern. Down, 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 up, down. Pinky goes down. Now isn't that pretty? Hearing that kind of clash with the open strings. So then we're going to come down to the 2nd fret. And then open. This is on the 3rd string. So far we have... Notice that index finger stays down the whole time. Then we're going to come down to the 3rd fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, open 4th string, down to our C note down here, which is the 3rd fret, 5th string. So all together, we have the C major scale. And then when I play that using that same strum pattern, little hammer on there. Don't be afraid to hammer those on. Like that. But look how cool that is. I mean, now you've got some embellishments you can do around the C chord and the G chord. The last thing we're going to look at is our D chord. So make your D chord in 1st position, but go ahead and take your middle finger off. We're not going to be playing on that open 1 string. We're just going to be playing strings 4, 3, and 2. And so you have those notes of the D major scale. Now there's this note, but we're going to skip that one. We don't really, it's sort of inconvenient in the way that the chord is made, and you don't really need it. So what I use is I just use those notes and then the D up here. And so you can see the fingers I'm using for that. So that's open D string or open 4th string, 2nd fret, 4th fret. And then we do the same thing on the 3rd string. So 2, 4, open, 2, 4, and then up to your 3rd fret, 2nd string, which is that same G note that we were holding down before for the G chord. So with that, I can play. And if you listen to Norwegian Wood by the Beatles, I don't want to play it for copyright reasons, but it's played in that same area there. Just you can mess around with it and figure it out really quickly. Now you can see that how they did that. So that's how these embellishments work. Now one thing I will mention is when I played the C chord, I played this note. Now this note was not in the C major scale, but it is in C Lydian scale or C Lydian mode. Anyway, but basically the C Lydian scale is just the G major scale. So you can actually play the G major scale underneath all 3 of those chords and it'll work. It would be D mixolydian when you're over the D chord, it'll be C Lydian when you're over the C chord, and it'll be G major or G Ionian when you're over the G chord. Now if you don't know anything about modes or don't care, don't worry about that. Just try and get these embellishments, that's the important thing. But just know when I was playing over the C chord, I played. So that's the C major scale, but you just raise the 4th right there. You can tell that that sounds a little different. And listen how pretty that is. To me, that has kind of a sound, like a movie soundtrack kind of feel. That Lydian thing. So now you know where these embellishments come from off of these basic chord shapes. So play around with them. Just take any of them and see what you can come up with. Try writing your own music. You'd be surprised how easy it is when you just follow the major scale. Just hold down one of the notes from the chord. All right, let me back up and we'll play through this one more time and then we'll see you in the next video. 1, 2, 3, 4.